With over 160 million mouths to feed, Africa's most populous nation is in dire need to boost its agricultural input to match up its growing population at a time when there is an urgent need to diversify the economy due to the drop of oil revenue, which had been the major source of income for Nigeria. Over the years, the dependency on oil revenue relegated agriculture that once sustained the nation's economy. The story of the potato revolution came to fruition on the fertile plains of the Pasho community in the Kwal district of Bassa local government area of Plateau State, Nigeria. The emergence of Vicampro, the first indigenous mechanized potato farming and processing company located in Jos, Nigeria. Vicampro saw the need to diversify from total dependency on crude oil to agriculture with a core emphasis on potato. With a good climate condition, and the availability of about 91 million hectares of arable land, which is underutilized by Nigerians, prompting Vicampro to step in by improving on the old method of farming and making agriculture lucrative and attractive to young Nigerians.
It is often believed that agriculture is a sector that is mostly occupied by the aged, and we in Vicampro want to create a different perception as to how the young minds in this country and then in Africa view agriculture by engaging productively the growing talents, the growing minds, young minds in this country to actually view that it has a lot of potential for young people to venture into such a sector and actually do well in the sector.
Vicampro is the brainchild of young Nigerians who in their wisdom saw the need and opportunity to take and create a positive impact in the world's economy.
I think about 4 years ago, I took a trip here and I was on a plane, and flying in, you could see the entire land space and you could see very green land, which was quite interesting to me. Coming down and driving from the airport, it was amusing to see what was being done with this land, which was actually nothing. Something rang in me that there's an opportunity here. What it was, I don't really know, but I knew there was an opportunity. So we started exploring a lot of options, and what came out was we actually discovered that all the French fries that was consumed in Nigeria was actually imported. But it will also be interesting to know that 96% of the table potato that is consumed is grown in this region, this plateau region. So how come we grow so much potato, yet we import so much French fries, which is the same story you have in your oil industry, where you produce a lot of crude, one of the largest producers in Africa and in the world, but yet you import all the refined product. So that's where the analysis started from. And we discovered that we had the capability to solve most of these problems. So that's where opportunity met capability. And then we tried to harness the opportunity using what we know how to do. And that's how it all came about.
The idea was birthed in 2013 and came to reality on the 4th of May 2015. Vicampro currently have over 400 staff on their payroll, with a good representation from the host community.
It's a great privilege having Vicampro in this our community, because actually it has brought a lot of relief. As you can see, there are so many people that are working within the farm, having something doing, and I think it's kudos to Vicampro.
I like Vicampro. They want to see how they will help us that we are here, and so that this our community to improve or to develop. That is why I like Vicampro.
For years back, about 15 years, I live in this community. There's nothing progressing here. But actually, as Vicampro company came here, this community was blessed. And I too, I was blessed because of the work that I'm doing here.
Our services include production of quality table-sized potato of different varieties, seedling sales, processing of potato to French fries, high-tech equipment lease and consultancy. Within less than a year into our existence, we are proud to have recorded some achievements such as the successful installation of the largest center pivot irrigation system in the sub-Saharan Africa with a diameter of 1.5 kilometers covering a total of 200 hectares.
Irrigation basically is the challenge of Nigerians concerning dry season farming. And right now we need to upgrade to the level of farming throughout the entire year and not just a seasonal farming here in Nigeria. So Vicampro stands out with an exquisite irrigation plan that can equip and provide water throughout the entire dry season so as to make it easy and possible for us to continue cultivation even without the rains. We've developed the Peapod System, and with this Peapod System, which is the largest in Nigeria at the moment, it spans through about 180 hectares of land, and the radius is 720 meters. This can supply water to cover crop growths within the entire hectare specified, and it can run through the complete circle in 24 hours.
Vision is said to be the driver of every noble ambition. Our vision in Vicampro is to be the most admired agro-business in the continent, admired for its people, innovation, partnerships, and empathy. Our values are integrity, fairness, honesty, and transparency, which are necessary ingredients for any successful business because it leads to trust and faith. As a company that values business relationships, we conduct our business in a way that reflects our values.
From a Vicampro perspective, our vision is not just in the potato space. Our ambition is to create the largest agricultural business in Africa. We like to put it in this way. We don't want to have a big chunk of the current small pie. What we want to do is to stir up something that will create a very big pie. So Nigeria has 180 million people to feed. Food security is becoming a big issue around the world. All countries are trying to be self-sufficient in food, and we're so far away from that right now. So somebody needs to come to bridge that space, if not to solve the problem, but at least to catalyze other people to come into the industry, and that's where we're going to.
We partner with our suppliers, technology vendors, our service providers, host communities, government at all levels, investors and stakeholders for superior performance and best results. We operate within the parameters of safety and best international practice and procedures.
In Vicampro, safety is our priority. In Vicampro, safety is all the time, everywhere, every task. In Vicampro, we take safety very important, such that all our procedures, all our operations will follow safety procedures to the latter. Our safety standards are of international standards.
We believe in constructive collaboration even with our competitors, premised on the fact that the world is more collaborative now than competitive. We are deeply committed to the environment and communities we operate in, putting in measures to conserve our environment and also ensuring our roles aid community development and promote a peaceful coexistence with our host communities.
We are very grateful for the presence of the company Vicampro in our community. We have a lot of unemployed youths in our community. But with the presence of Vicampro in our community, over 120 of our people now work with the company. This indeed has brought a lot of succor to families and to the community at large. Vicampro has promised to do more in our community, like making the road to the community accessible and also build some developmental projects in our community. We all want to say, God bless Vicampro.
These partnerships help our organization and industry achieve more.
Normally, the cycle from planting to harvesting should be about 90 to 100 days. But we usually allow ours to stay longer so that it's much bigger. The longer it stays, the bigger it becomes. So based on that, probably we'll be doing 150 days, thereabouts. So we're targeting 2 cycles.
Our mission is to grow the agro-business and play our part in ensuring food security for our nation and continent at large. We believe Nigeria can take the lead in food supply the world over if all stakeholders play their part well.
Our business model strategy is to have an off-taker scheme that can guarantee supply for the West African market and market in general. We have an influx of French fries from Europe, but we want to match that capacity with our production base, which is 840 tons per week. And if you do the math, you see that the machine will produce 5 tons per hour. So that's huge. We intend to have that supply to guarantee an off-taker scheme that our off-takers will be having at least, will be doing 20 tons per week to meet the market demand of the French fries market in the West African sub-region and Africa in general.
Vicampro is on the verge of repositioning agriculture in Nigeria by creating mechanized-based practice in the society, where experts in the field and those with the dreams of joining the field will meet, innovate and share ideas. We hope to be the #1 potato producers in Nigeria and have our name written in gold on the world map.
My role is I go on with the planting plants and processes. So I ensure that all the flow in planting are done well, and also the farm process and all the farm attendants and the farm processes in planting to the crop management. I ensure adequate calibration of the planter in case we are doing planting, the seed depth, and also the planting spacing. And also I ensure that the operators are following the guided rules.
In the area of job creation, it is our aim to reduce the rate of unemployment among the Nigerian youth. It has been a common knowledge that unemployment has been the cause of many social vices in our society.
As a mechanical engineer, I've learned a lot in this company. I've learned how to assemble pivots. During the period the pivot was installed in our farm, I learned a lot. The mechanical aspect of it, the assembling and all that. I think that's a rich experience for me. I think I can, let's say for me now, I can proudly come out and say that I'm an engineer, and I'm looking towards that in the future.
It was in this regard that the idea of organizing the annual Vicampro Champions Cup was birthed. We intend to use this annual sporting event to discover talent and give them international exposure and contracts through our various international football scouting agencies.
We have ensured that the community where our farm is situated are fully engaged in terms of job opportunities. We have given a form of corporate social responsibility to the community by engaging them, because there was a deviation from the initial farming. We organized a tournament. We had to bring the youth within the community to engage them productively in deviating their minds from the social vices that had been within the society to foster unity amongst the young minds. We at Vicampro have been able to give the youth the opportunity to contribute their quota to the nation development, and that we are proud of.
We urge governments at all levels to encourage farmers by equipping them with the needed technology to fit into the modern-day agriculture. Also, the government must ensure that there is good infrastructure such as good road network from the farms to the market, electricity provided to rural communities where agricultural activities are cited to curtail problems facing storage of perishable goods, access to fertilizers, and easy access to government grants and loans.
We're an organization from the federal government which is actually vested in the responsibility of developing water infrastructure, especially for agriculture and home consumption. And we just came on the study tour of what Vicampro is doing here, and I think it's really quite very impressive and educative. And it essentially brings out the elements of what agriculture, especially irrigation, is all about. And I think I need to commend the management and especially the managing director of Vicampro for being bold and courageous to be able to go into a venture like this. And we came essentially just to grant our support to Vicampro and to see ways to which we can work together to further agriculture. And he's just a classic example of what agriculture should be, and the potentials and the possibilities in what agriculture can bring to this country and the turnaround. 10 people like him can actually feed this country, as far as I'm concerned, with what I've seen here, and the drive, the tenacity, and the knowledge that he has given into here.
We have a 700-hectare field where we are employing state-of-the-art technology to improve our yield per hectare. Average farms in the area above 5 metric tons per hectare, but with our improved process we are achieving 6 times the result.
Nigeria, the country with the most hectares of potatoes in Africa. Nigeria, the country with the least yield per hectare in Africa. The market in Nigeria is without limit, with 170 million people, with only a consumption of 3-4 kilo per head. And when you look at England with more than 80 kilo per head, then you can see that the market here is the least problem of it all. The biggest problem of it all is the mentality, because people are not used to big size farming. They're not used to making plans far ahead. I think we will be the first big scale potato company in Nigeria, which is very, very challenging and very nice to create. As a chief operational officer, it is very important to teach your people how to manage new big-scale mechanized potato farming. Have to learn them how they look at the soil. Because if you don't treat the soil cannot treat the potatoes. I have to learn them how the storage goes. I have to teach them that when you talk about potatoes, you talk about 85% water. And how can you get the water in the bag to the customer without losing too much in storage?
This is comparable with the leading African potato producing countries. Our focus is to produce seed, tablewares, and processing grade potato for the local and regional markets in Africa. Seed potato is the leading cause of low yields in the industry. To overcome this challenge, we are dedicating 200 hectares to seed production, working with leading seed producers around the world and also working with local and international researchers. Our target output is 51,000 tons of table-sized potatoes annually. We would achieve this through the development of our fields and also our outgrower strategy that would create the opportunity to cultivate 10,000 hectares of land over the next 5 years.
Here in production, storage and processing technology, we have this facility to store potato for the entire farmers in Plateau and also for our farm, the Vicampro farm. We are also looking at putting up the processing plant, which is almost coming up, and we are looking at completing that project between now and 2017. We've done our first harvest, and from what we see from the harvest, we discovered that we can do better, and the outgrowers within Plateau also can do better. Those are the farmers connected to us. So we are also trying to encourage them. We are trying to give them the farm input. We are trying to also make the machinery available for them to go mechanized, because we discover if you go mechanized in agriculture, you do more better and your yield per hectare will increase.
Storage is a critical component of the value chain. Before our entry into the industry, 40% of the industry's output goes to waste due to the inadequate storage procedures and facilities. We have constructed a 1 million kilogram seed storage facility and currently in the process of constructing a 12,000 ton cold storage facility for table potato. The cold storage facility would keep the potatoes fresh by ensuring the right temperature and humidity. This would provide us the ability to store the potato for as long as 6 months. One of the reasons why we stand out is because our employees are passion-driven individuals who do not only take pride in their accomplishments, but strive daily to get better in all they do so as to make a lifelong impact on our continent. We recognize the fact that the long-term success of our business is largely dependent on our employees' passion for excellence. That's why we lead by example. Much has been said about Vicampro. With all the needed support from our host community and government, the economy will feel our great impact in revenue generation and job creation. Being described as the hub of the potato in Nigeria, Plateau State has 6 local government areas producing potato in commercial quantity, making it the #1 potato producer state in Nigeria, given to serene and favorable weather conditions for potato cultivation. We at Vicampro believe that through our brain and brawn, the agricultural sector will herald a new dawn for economic advancement for Nigeria, spreading across sub-Saharan Africa to the world over. This is the story of the potato revolution.
We are Vicampro, the potato company.